Welcome back on this Wednesday. Glad you're joining us as we start Luke chapter 14 with the third Sabbath controversy. Let's start by looking at verses 1 through 6. One Sabbath, when he, Jesus, went to dine at the house of a ruler of the Pharisees, they were watching him carefully. And behold, there was a man before him who had dropsy. And Jesus responded to the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath or not?" But they remained silent. Then he took him and healed him and sent him away. And he said to them, "Which of you, having a son or an ox that has fallen into a well on a Sabbath day, will not immediately pull him out?" And they could not reply to these things. A couple things to look at before we get into this a little bit deeper is the they in this passage are the Pharisees. He was in the house of a ruler of the Pharisees, and they were watching him, implying the Pharisees were watching him. Dropsy, edema is another word for it that we use a little bit more. Water retention. Often it would cause great disfigurement in the person then. Now we have drugs that can often take care of it in different ways, but they couldn't as much. Didn't then. So when this man was there, perhaps they set him up because they were trying to catch him in a trap, right? He knew what their intentions were. So he asked them a question. Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath or not? A simple question. And they didn't answer him. So he healed, and then he gave an example of if an ox or a son of yours falls into a well, won't you immediately go and try to rescue them? They had no answer. Let's continue looking verses 7 through 11. Now Jesus told a parable to those who were invited when he noticed how they chose the places of honor, saying to them, "When you are invited by someone to a wedding feast, do not sit down in the place of honor, lest someone more distinguished than you be invited by him. And he who invited you both will come and say to you, 'Give your place to this person,' and then you will begin with shame to take the lowest place. But when you are invited, go and sit in the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he may say to you, 'Friend, move up higher.' Then you will be honored in the presence of all who sit at table with you. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and everyone who humbles himself will be exalted." There are two ways that this passage connects to the one earlier that we just read, the first 6 verses. First of all, he's at the feast. He notices how they take the seats of honor, and he addresses it. Second of all, as he's talking about this healing, he is really kind of addressing the Pharisees' hypocrisy of them thinking that they are greater than they really are. And that's what he's addressing here also. The one who exalts himself will be humbled. The one who humbles himself will be exalted, lifted up. The one who is last shall be first. The one who is first shall be last. We see this multiple times in Luke's gospel. That's all I have for you today. Tomorrow we're going to continue with Jesus at this feast, hearing more of his teaching to them. God bless.